Coming at you live from Port Alisair, this is Cypher's Retro Gaming News, tonight's top stories, with your host, the one and only Cypher.
Thank you, Bob. Welcome back to Retro News and Beyond. I'm your host, Cypher, live in Port Alisair. Breaking news in the verse, actually, coming out of the Lear system, a giant worm known as the Valacar has added yet another notch in its body count belt as a roving faction of pirates spotted in a Drake Cutlass steel are confirmed to be the creature's latest victims. The three bodies have not been recovered. Even so, who'd want to survive an attack like that with an expired insurance policy? These images were captured via the ship's scanlight imaging systems and was found near pieces of their debris. This giant life form has been reported to attack low-altitude starships, and it's highly advised to rethink travel within the Pyro star system until further notice. Back to the Sol star system Earth, retro gaming resurgence in Elda, Spain. In early 2025, the city of Elda has witnessed a significant revival in retro gaming interest. Local store Game for Players have said that it is a challenge for collectors due to the rarity and high prices of functional vintage game and consoles, with some titles reaching up to 500 euros. This trend has been captivating these younger generations, drawn to the rich narratives and characters of classic games. He further states, before you bought more than just a game, you bought a story. Each piece has a special value, whether due to its rarity, its state of preservation, or the nostalgia it inspires in the players. Many young people across the globe are curious to experience a game of that, while technically more limited, had a special dedication to its plots and characters. He further states, while today's graphics are spectacular, in many cases the love for story has been lost. Next up, AYA Neo just announced a top-tier retro horizontal handheld. Didn't see that coming, claiming it will boast a perfect size, stunning design, and will be called the Pocket Ace. Top-tier performance makes me wonder how much will this new system cost, and will its performance justify consumers to shell out even more money on yet another device? Only time will tell. Next story is Antstream's Arcade expanding retro gaming for streaming, I guess. Antstream Arcade is a British gaming streaming platform where its founders clearly didn't do their SWOT analysis, brings over 1,300 retro games from the 1970s up to the early 2000s. Their service is available on multiple platforms including Xbox and PlayStation, however, more importantly, Android and iOS. Could this be the future of retro gaming, or is it yet another feeble attempt of suits trying to squeeze every penny out of the consumer? As Valve's Gabe Newell put it, the easiest way to stop piracy is not by putting anti-piracy technology to work, it's by giving people a service that's better than what they're receiving from said pirates. Well, one can theorize by using Android OS, you can fulfill all your retro gaming hobby desires, forgoing the shadier but more cost-effective approach. The catch? Well, you will need to be connected to the internet, as this is a purely streaming service similar to GeForce Now, only retro specific, which takes the portability aspect out of the equation. With its confusing pricing models, users can either pay monthly, annually, or a hefty lifetime subscription fee of $100. However, after looking at the fine print in Antstream's terms and conditions, they reserve the right to suspend or withdraw the content that's currently provided, as well as suspend or withdraw any content on their site. This means not only do they not guarantee that their site or any of the content on it will be always available or uninterrupted, which begs the question, why would anyone pay $100 for that lifetime subscription when they have zero guarantees of ownership? And let's not overlook this little clause stating, we are not responsible for viruses and you, the user, must not introduce them. Well, maybe investing into anti-piracy technology might have been a better use of that $100 after all. Next up, yet another emulator on the horizon. Game consoles, my Mini is teased, quite literally. It boasts a Rockchip RK3326 CPU, which has left many scratching their heads why they bolted on that interesting looking single joystick, as this specific CPU can barely emulate N64 games. Only time will tell, but is interesting nonetheless. Next up is probably one of the most exciting reveals for 2025 thus far. It's the Onexsugar, a dual screen device that looks like it was straight taken out of of a scene from Transformers, this new device could be that one device that might bring DS and 3DS emulation into its golden era. As of now, little is known about the device apart from it having one of the new Qualcomm Snapdragon Gen 3 processors. That's an octa-core chip with Adreno A32 graphics that delivers up to 30% faster CPU and 28% faster GPU performance than its previous Gen Snapdragon G3X Gen 3s. All allegedly, of course, and I cannot wait for the next line of paying beta testers to leave their reviews. Hopefully, it won't end up like the next and continuing disaster. The Retroid Pocket telenovela saga continues as Russ from the beloved Retro Game Core channel released a video addressing the Pocket Mini's issues, where he does his best to placate all the spice from the incredulous SBC gang by explaining the current situation and offers a few tweaks for those affected by these scaling issues. However, his words fell on a few deaf ears, as some were quick to point out that, quote, Retroid chose to lie to get a cheap way out of a situation they created by their own negligence. Further, the user claimed that Retroid deleted his posts, hid communications in their Discord server while still advertising a product with no disclaimer. Russ made further comments in attempt to clarify any misconceptions from his response, yet more users pushed back, offering their takes on why their continual dissatisfaction was valid. One thing that seems to be unanimously agreed on, for the most part, are how doxing employees of said company out of frustration is a big no-no. And that's where the story takes yet another turn for the worse, where a Chinese community manager of Retroid named Max stated in the community chat that he was originally planning to sue one of the users, claiming that his Retroid Mini related post titled investigating the Retroid Pocket Mini display is completely fabricated. However, because Retroid is currently preparing for the launch of their new event, they had to temporarily not proceed with the lawsuit. He also stated that user's entire post is purely speculation without any factual evidence. Yikes. Now we can only wait and see how consumers react, as Retroid Pocket Classic's handheld specs were announced, as it has a G1 Gen 2 processor with an 8-core Cryo CPU, and seeing how these devices are already sold out, we can only wait for the next wave of beta testers to give us their feedback. Well, that's it for today's news. I want to thank you for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed on this channel, make sure to do so as we delve deep into everything retro and beyond. I'm your host, Cypher, and like always, I'll see you in the next one.